That's the fight that everybody want to see.
Yeah.
And I want to do it.
Do you respect him as like when he's like, I got a couple fights left, I'm at the end, I'm only trying to get mega fights, so
I understand it, but don't lie or cap to the net and make it seem like I had the opportunity to fight you and I didn't. I never did. You know what I'm saying? And then that one time that I did, we said they called. And we said, we never heard nothing else back about it. So I mean, I respect it though. I mean, get your money. You know what I'm saying? Do your thing. But don't be capping on the net.
Man, great. Bud always been like that. Without a question, South. You know what I'm saying? South.
You think there's anything left for him, coach, or is it time for Bud to move on? Or
I'm trying to figure out who he gonna fight next.
160, you can see him fight 160.
I wouldn't do nothing crazy. He looked at excellent. He looked at excellent.
Is there anybody most from
No, I'm trying to figure out what their team gonna do next. I want to see what's
He's
next.
talking about 160, coach. I mean, the only thing down there is maybe like a middleweight tournament, 2 fights undisputed, something like that. But if not that, then what for Bud?
Who?
Well, they were talking about Jaron Ennis going to 160. Possibly going. Jaron Ennis going to 160.
If he go to 160, then we got another mega fight.
You think that's a mega fight?
I don't know that yet, but I'm saying, and the boxing fans that know boxing would say that's another mega fight.
The boxing world went silent when news broke that Terence Crawford and Jaron Ennis had finally opened real talks for a true showdown, not just a dream fight fans post about online. The bout people have waited for since Crawford shocked everyone by jumping to 168 and taking all of Canelo Alvarez's titles is now less than a week away. Sources say the deal is closing in on nearly $300 million, a figure reserved for fights that shape an era and pull in attention from every corner of the sport. Today we look at why this matchup means so much and why it may be the toughest test of Bud's entire career, tracing the path that led here and how Boots rose into the spotlight as the fighter many now call the new king. Fans once doubted Crawford's move to super middleweight, saying he was too small, too slow, and past his prime, with Canelo seen as the division's unbeatable force, bigger, stronger, and more seasoned. Yet Crawford silenced every doubt by dominating him, completely looking as comfortable at 168 as if he had fought there all his life.
Crawford did amazing, he a legend, man, 3-time undisputed, you got to take his hat off to him, he went up 2 weight classes and dominated a legend, so my hat goes up to him and he's all respect.
Do you think Canelo is the same guy that he was before? You think he's completely falling off?
Canelo's Canelo, you know what I mean? Canelo's a legend, bro. You gotta, at the end of the day, whatever happened that fight, that don't diminish his career, his image. You feel me? I think right now, he's at that time where he took an L, but he ain't take an L, you know what I'm saying? He got paid and he a legend at the end of the day, you know what I'm saying? So if he want to walk over the sunset right now, his last name is in a cement, you know what I'm saying? That's one of the greatest Mexican fighters in the world.
I know it sounds a little bit crazy, but Crawford does have all the titles. You're a really big name. He's kind of in your way right now, a little bit. Is that a fight where you're just like, me and him get it on for sure?
Not for sure. Definitely, you know what I'm saying? We don't duck no smoke. So, right now, I'm focused on my comeback fight, you know what I'm saying? I got to put my head down, whatever happened my last fight is cool, but, that ain't dim my light at all, you know what I'm saying? I'm still a superstar, I'm still a star, I'm still the king of New York, man, I'm fly, I look good, I fight good, man, so, I'm excited for next year,
That night Crawford achieved what boxers rarely do anymore. The world was stunned, because he was not the biggest or strongest in the ring, and he did not rely on special weight limits or warm-up fights. He simply came ready and clearly outperformed the top champion in his division, showing there was no doubt about who truly stood above the rest.
Who do you think's better out of those two, Crawford or Mayweather?
I think Crawford is better, bigger. Like he's actually he moved in weight class, and I would say Crawford is a better fight all around fighter. Mayweather's really good too, though. You can knock him as well. He's very talented. It would have been a tough fight, but I think Crawford would have the edge over Mayweather because of the long arms and because he's bigger. You know what I'm saying? And he would have kept him at bay. It would have been hard for Mayweather to counter, maybe. But Mayweather's definitely technician. I mean, like Crawford said, Mayweather has his era, and Crawford, this is there.
That victory, the issue was obvious. Crawford had no real rivals left. He had already handled Errol Spence, dominated the top Mexican fighter of the past decade, unified the titles at 140, conquered the 147 division, and then moved up to take over 168 as well. It felt like there were no challenges remaining, except for one name that kept resurfacing: Jaron Ennis, the undefeated powerhouse who had bulldozed every opponent placed before him and stood alone as the final true threat in Crawford's path.
We got to get him in the fights. We got to get him undisputed at 47. He can move up. I want to see him fight Terence Crawford. You know, I mean, that's a fight that's been talked about, and Terence will only take that fight if it's big enough. I back Jaron Boots Ennis against anybody. And what a joy to be guiding this man's...
This idea has been around for years, with fans calling for a Crawford versus Ennis fight back. When both competed at 147, the IBF even ordered the matchup in 2023, but it never came together. Some believed Crawford was avoiding a rising hungry challenger, while others said Boots had chances to make the fight happen but never stepped forward. Many supporters felt the moment had passed once Crawford moved on, yet Ennis kept improving, and suddenly people saw something different. He was not only winning but starting to look like a younger version of Crawford himself.
I think the perfect weight for Boots is 160. I think he could go there now and be in his absolute prime. He'll be tight at 54 tomorrow. People think that when you move up in weight, all of a sudden it's easy. He's massive. He will 100% go to 168 at some point. So right there, you've got a 4-division championship. But I don't want him just to be a 4-division champion. I want him to be undisputed in those, because I think he's the natural progressor to Terence Crawford. I think he's of the same kind of ability as Terence Crawford. And what Crawford's done is amazing, because he was undisputed in 3 weight classes.
Yeah, you got to prove it in a ring.
Of course you have. It's very well me saying it, but you've got to prove it in a ring. But you've also, people know in boxing. So everyone's always known how good Crawford was. But it took him a long time to get the opportunities to prove it. We've got to make sure that we're not 36, 37, 38 when we're getting those opportunities. Because if Boots can get it at 29, 30, he's going to be around 34, 35. He lives a clean life. Do you know what I mean? I think this guy, I truly believe, I think he could be one of the all-time greats.
He soon earned the label as the next Crawford, and promoters began pushing the matchup again. The conversation exploded when Eddie Hearn said there was truly only one fighter who could challenge Crawford, asking fans to name any bout more exciting than Ennis versus Crawford. He pointed out that Boots was fresh, healthy, and not worn down by years of hard wars, noting the 10-year age gap between the two fighters and making it clear that if Bud wanted a genuine test, then facing Boots was the fight that had to happen.
Just feel that Jaron Ennis against Terence Crawford is the fight. And that can be at 54, it can be at 60. You know, obviously we've got Lima to take care of first, but that for me is one of the great, crossover fights, because Boots is the changing of the guard guy. And Crawford's the guy that's been there and done it all and just proved, that he's still very much...
For months, both fighters have been dropping hints after his win over Canelo. Ennis openly praised Crawford as the face of boxing and called Bud one of the greatest fighters of all time, while at the same time making it clear that he believes he is the one man capable of handing Crawford a defeat.
Stay away from it. And by the way, there's this brother coming up, Molly. His name is Boots Ennis. This brother's special. You don't want to go in the ring against after that beating. Molly, it was so bad. I swear to y'all, I am not exaggerating. Yeah. You know how I got called.
Boots publicly said that Crawford is the face of boxing today, but the tone of his words carried a hidden challenge, as if to say, make the most of the time you have left. Meanwhile, Crawford responded with a mix of humor and strategy, offering praise after each victory and openly acknowledging how gifted Boots truly is.
Now you got Boots Ennis in your weight class.
Definitely.
What do you think about him?
Oh, he's very, very talented. He's unproven, but he's very talented.
Yeah.
The eye test tells it all. He's got the it, but we haven't seen him against any elite fighter. We've never seen him tested. So until then, we just going to keep saying, oh, Boots, 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 until he meet that fighter that's going to test him.
Is that a fight that you would be interested in?
Nah, it just don't make sense right now in my career. Like I said, especially money-wise, don't nobody really know Boots, but
right.
I'm looking for bigger and better challenges like Canelo.
You're looking for the big ones.
Yeah.
The big fish.
Yeah.
Fish fry.
Definitely. Definitely. Them the guys I'm looking for. Yeah.
Crawford admitted that Boots was in his weight class and spoke openly about his ability, saying he believed Ennis was extremely talented, but still untested at the highest level, explaining that while the eye test showed promise, he had not yet faced an elite opponent who could truly challenge him, and until that moment people would keep talking about Boots without really knowing his limits. When asked if he wanted that fight, Crawford said it did not make sense for his career at that point, especially financially, noting that most fans did not yet know who Boots was and that he was focused on larger challenges like Canelo, aiming for the biggest fights and the biggest names still available to him.
Boots and Crawford, that would be one of the biggest fights in history, man. You know what I mean? When it comes to styles, they both have beautiful styles, man. You know what I mean? They both switch and they both can do it all. You know what I mean? Crawford will fight you. He just showed everybody he'll fight you too. Boots will fight you inside and outside. When you got hard like that, that's what you do. And Crawford does the same thing.
When asked if Boots could beat him, Crawford just smiled and said, "Great things come to those who wait," signaling that he didn't think the time was right. Everything shifted after Bud defeated Canelo. Boots immediately called him out, promoters started running the numbers, and networks began holding private meetings to make the fight happen.
Who they are cancel out each other as far as height. You know, they both switch hitters, lift, and everything. All of that cancels out each other. So they are literally the same people, pretty much. The only difference is Crawford done been in the big stage against big fighters so many times. And also with age, he didn't beat up his body, so his age is actually good. He got the grown man strength. He not just grown man strength, but he built on top of that. Like, look at him at 135. He was a little scrawny dude. He wasn't a big dude. Now look at him. He ripped up everything. He's strong. So I feel like he got everything, all the experience, all the knowledge. So I got to go with Crawford.
A fight between Boots and Crawford would be one of the biggest in boxing history. Both have incredible skills and versatile styles. They can switch up and handle anything in the ring. Crawford has proven he will face anyone, and Boots can fight both inside and out. When a fighter is that complete, that's what you expect from them. People like Eddie Hearn, Tim Bradley, and Sean Porter began saying one thing clearly: Crawford has just one real challenge left. So why do boxing experts call Boots the new Prophet? There's a reason behind that title.
Who punches harder? Jaron Boots Ennis or Terence Bud Crawford? Jaron's shots seem to be more thumping and more like a whip, where they come out kind of wider. Jaron also twists his whole body behind each shot, gets a lot of leverage. Terence Bud Crawford's shots seem to be shorter, and he gets more of that shoulder snap. Terence Bud Crawford's punches are also placed very strategically. He uses his opponent's momentum against them and catches them coming in and has them leaning right into that shoulder shot. Remember, the punch going from point A to point B in the shortest distance is the goal that's trying to be achieved in all fighters. Mike Tyson made that an art. Boots and Bud both have a lot of knockouts, but who do you guys think hits harder between the two of them? Tell me in the comments.
Few fighters match the skill level of Crawford, and Boots is one of them. He keeps his power whether he fights orthodox or southpaw, using clever timing to strike when you least expect it. He's taller, bigger, and younger, and his punches are strong enough to keep any opponent on their toes. Be patient. This is where the excitement really builds. Crawford is getting older, while Boots keeps improving. That's the story. Boots represents the next generation, but at this moment, Crawford remains the best in his era.
He better than Floyd Mayweather?
To me, it's because he challenges himself. So for me, don't get me wrong, Floyd ain't no bad fighter. Floyd is a hell of a sharp fighter, but I ain't gonna say you're a better fighter. I'm gonna say I just appreciate him more because he challenges himself. You understand me? Floyd never challenged himself. So if you tell me who I want to see, Floyd or Terence, I want to see Terence, because Terence gonna challenge himself. Floyd may be a better fighter because Floyd is slick and Floyd really can fight. People know I don't underestimate Floyd's boxing ability. Floyd has great boxing ability. Floyd is one of the best ever, but Floyd just never challenges.
Crawford is already set financially. He doesn't need belts or validation. He's dominated 3 weight classes and defeated 2 of the best fighters of his era, proving the world wrong. So why face Boots? The answer is legacy. Crawford wants to be remembered as the greatest of his time, not just compared to Spence or Canelo, but to everyone. And it's not true that he's never faced a young, hungry contender at his peak. Boots fits that description perfectly. This fight would stop the sport. If Bud wins, he cements his place above Mayweather, Pacquiao, and Canelo, which is why so many fans and experts agree this matchup is the right move for him.
I beat this guy. It's his excuse. I beat this guy, and he's too young or whatever. So I'm never really going to give my full respect until afterwards. Yes, it's a lot of people that's changing their narrative. Like, man, y'all watching something great right now, and we not appreciating it. And it's sad to say that we waking up at the tail end of his career. You know, we really didn't realize it until now when he's like doing extraordinary stuff, like going up 2 weight classes to fight the best fighter in that division, the #1 guy that's the face of boxing, you know. And the way that I handled that, people like, oh man, something had to be wrong. Canelo had to be washed, or Canelo just wasn't in it. And I see people saying, oh, Turkey paid for Canelo to lose, you know. So I just think, you know, when you that much better than the competition, you know, people not going to give you credit until they sit down and look at it and just be like, man.
Boots is in the perfect position. Undefeated, young, strong, and finally getting the attention he deserves. He knows he needs a big-name win to secure his future, and beating Crawford would make him the face of boxing immediately, not years from now after a few more victories. Unlike most challengers, Boots isn't chasing Crawford out of desperation. He genuinely believes he's the better fighter. Eventually, the next generation of fighters rises to challenge the best, and this could be Crawford's defining test. The biggest risk is time. Crawford is 38, while Boots is 28.
Do you think Ennis is the guy to give Crawford like trouble in there if they were ever to fight?
I think that would be a great fight. You know, the young hungry lion versus the legend. That would be a hell of a fight. Maybe 160. If it's a vacant title at 160, I think that they can make that happen for sure. I think it just has to make sense for both parties. You know what I mean? Yeah, I think if there's a vacant belt, Crawford's gonna want to be 6th division champion, and then he'll make Ennis move up to 160. I think they could do it at 160.
This week, Boots announced he's ready to fight at any weight. He's fully committed. Crawford has already told the press he wants one last big fight before retiring. If this matchup happens, it would be the most important boxing match in the U.S. since Mayweather versus Pacquiao, but this time both fighters are at their peak. One final question remains. Who takes it? The seasoned great who rarely misses, or the young powerhouse rising to dominate the sport? Share your thoughts below. Don't forget to like this video and follow Fight Field. See you in the next video.